Hey guys, it's Sharon with Little Britain Company. Welcome to the channel. How are y'all? How's your day? Okay, today for my journeys, I guess. I am continuing on with my Christmas in July, and I made this really cute. I really love this one. This really cute little legal pad note holder. Let me start by just showing you through this, and then I'm going to make one with you. Hopefully. I will say I thought about adding flowers and things to the front, but that would have created an issue with the whole reason that I did my spine the way I did it. So let me show you. Okay, in the front, we have this really fun, double matted, very shiny. I use this real shiny paper to mat. This is just one of the sentiments. This was meant to be one of the postcards from, I should show you what series I'm using as I try to smash this pad or this paper pack. So Santa Claus Lane. It's super cute. So everything I'm using, so this one and the next one are both from Santa Claus Lane, and I'm still going to have a lot of paper left. Okay, so you can see the front. I really looked at this and I decided I just really liked that kind of metallic red on the side instead of adding another sheet of this paper to it. I just did. I don't know. I thought it would be nice to put a label on here if someone wants to put a label. So I'm really enjoying that. So we open it up and you have your cute little pad of paper. These are really nice. I should have grabbed another set. These come in a pack of 3. I bought these recently at Ollie's. They're very high quality. And I got to tell you, getting the white paper pads, legal pads, they're usually very expensive, the individuals. But this was a pack of 3 for $1.99. I thought that was a fantastic deal. Okay, so this does, if you would like to take it out and change it, this will come out. It's on a belly band. I just added this cute little Santa Claus Lane. This is actually from these little end pieces. And I've been cutting off these to use throughout other things, and they're on both sides, so you get 2 for each piece of paper. I like it, love it. Like I did with these, so you get this nice little pocket here, side pocket. I just put a couple of journal cards in there, with another little Santa Claus Lane inside. Then this is what super excites me. It's a little thing that excites me. I added this cool little envelope, and I did not do a huge amount of decorating on it. I really like it this way. I'll show you how to put it in. You could absolutely make an envelope that matched with your papers and with everything else. I added this little piece. I thought that would be really great for people to be able to just add, whether they're keeping receipts or messages or notes, whatever they're keeping in there, they can label themselves. I did include one cute little tag, the little journaling tag. I did not include the ribbon on it. I kind of go back and forth about adding the ribbon on when I have something that is flat. But here's what's super cool. Flat is exactly the word of the day. This lays completely flat. And for me, when I'm writing or when I have something like this, I want it to be flat. So I can just put it to the side and it's not kind of kicking up on me. I don't know. So I am super excited to show you how to make this. I'm going to make one change. I'm going to put this pocket on the inside because I realized if I start filling this with receipts, it's going to bunch up in the wrong place. So, it would be fine, but, it might make this sit up a little bit, and that'll be better on this side. So we'll do that. And I wanted to show you from the top. Look at all that awesome room that you have right there. I did, and I really thought about it, guys. I was very intentional in my decision to not put a closure on this. I just didn't like the idea of a closure. But with that extra thick spine, this is actually really tight. With that extra thick spine, what you can do is put a pin inside. That was not my idea. It came from someone else, and I don't remember. It's been a while since I watched that video. It may have been Shelly Gagel, but I don't remember, and I wish I did. I like giving credit where credit is due, but no, maybe it wasn't. Anyway, maybe it wasn't her, somebody else. But I've seen, and I've put in the past, like a loop in here, but I always worry that it's going to come off. And then I saw someone do this, and I was like, well, that's just brilliant. Why do you need to put something else in? I'm more likely to do this anyway, because whenever I stick things in and out of a little loop, for me, they just get caught up. Maybe I'm just clumsy, but I love that. Love, love, love that. So very excited about that being an option. Okay, so let's get started. All right, here we go. Okay, so what I did was I did a little pre-cutting. I went ahead and cut my two chipboard pieces 5.5. Both of these are 5.5 by 8.5. I also pre-cut the paper that, I don't know if you can see that. There you go. I pre-cut my papers here. Each one of these needs a sheet that is 7.5 by 10. That's a 10. 10.5. And then I also went ahead and did my spine. So my spine piece, my chipboard, is 1 inch by 8.5. And then this piece is 4 by 10.5. You can see that one. Okay. Now I'll move these aside, and I will go ahead and start putting this together. I actually have pre-cut pretty much everything. Okie dokie. Just gonna glue. I wasn't gonna glue. Okay, so I didn't used to worry too much about this, and I still don't worry about it, but I do like it to be as close as possible. So I'm using my corner ruler here. This is 1 inch. This is not. This one is, I think, 1.5 inches. So what I do is I go ahead and line that up. So this goes across to my 1 inch. You can see underneath. So that's my 1 inch, and that's only coming an inch down. So I am going to go ahead and cover my chipboard with as much glue as is humanly possible. I'm just kidding. One thing you got to be careful about this stuff is to make sure it's not gloppy at all. But I've got my tip right against my board. And I, of course, knocked into it, but it's all good. There we go. So I gave myself 1 inch border all the way around. And I'm going to move that out of the way. And I'm going to go ahead and do these other ones. So I really, really am trying to get the videos down in time. I may never be able to get them too far down because it's just the way I do stuff. But I'm trying, guys. I've had the weirdest thing. I will get to 4,970, and the minute I get to that, within a day or so, it will drop back down to 68 or 69. And then even if I get up to like 73, it will drop back down almost right away. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Why are people leaving me? I don't actually think people are just saying, I don't want to see her anymore. I think actually it's got more to do with what YouTube does. But I think it's, in some ways, I think it's funny. And in some ways, I don't. It's just the way it is. All right, let me put this one on. I was slightly off with that one. And now this one is really big, mostly because I have to accommodate the way it's going to get attached to the other pieces. Let me get my glue moving again. Okay. So ay. Gracious. Okay. Get that on there. Okay. This one, I'm going to do more of an eyeball. I'm going to try to put it as, good grief, centered as I can. It's more like that. Okay, move this thing out of the way. And I'm going to get my other, okay. So, I'll just work out the spine. For my spine, there's some really specific things I need to do to this to make sure that it's ready to go into the book. So I'm going to start by just carefully bending up because I do not want to crack my paper. And then I'm going to do the same thing here. Looks like I was a little askew. Probably should have used my rulers there. Okay, so now that I've done that, I've cut that a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and do this. That would look strange. I want to be careful here because I need to cut out this little section here. So I want to make sure that I cover that, but I absolutely need to cut out this, and I'm going to just cut right on the outside of where that's folded. This one, so I'm really doing my square. I probably should have cut that a little bit further over. It's okay. There. It's actually really hard to see for me. I've said that before. So it's really just outside of that square. I'm going to put those aside just in case I need them, because if I came too close in on this edge, there's a way to fix that. Okay, let me do the same thing over here. Good grief. I tell you, if you've got older eyes like me. Okay. I really need to make sure that I'm covering that. Okay. put this over. Put that over the top. Yeah, that should be fine. I might do a little fixing there. Okay. With this outer part, I'm just gonna take my wonderful bone folder and give myself this really good internal crease, because the pages are going to sit on this side. So, yeah, that's good. Okay, so I've got that done right there. Now, I do absolutely want to make sure that this is covered, and let me see if it's going to be. When the pages come in and the other pages go over the top, that should be okay. This one, on the other hand, is slightly off. So, I'll show you what I'm going to do to fix it. Let's see if my glue is still running. Nope, because I left it uncapped. Who does something so silly? Just me. There we go. So I'm going to take this little piece and I'm going to use it right on, do it that way, right on the inside. Now I'm not worried about that side. This side had a tiny bit of exposure. It still does. This side had a little bit of exposure, and so there. That's better. So now you can't see any of the cardboard coming through there. So I'm going to go ahead and attach my little sections here. And really burnishing those down. This one I think had good coverage, so I'm not worried about it. I'm not going to go ahead and do anything to it. I'm just going to go ahead and that is a lot of glue. It'll be okay. Okay, so that one is done. So there we go. I put this aside. And I'm going to go ahead and do these. So I want to show you guys, if you ever get something on your paper, this is the best thing ever. This will erase glue streaks or anything else on your paper. It's a little art eraser that I picked up at Dollar Tree. I'm sure you can get them in art stores, but... Alright, so I'm just going to carefully bend that one over. And let's get these done. One thing I like to do, just to make sure I don't get cracking, is basically I'm polishing it into place. And when I remember to do that, it's quite effective. really what it's doing is just making the paper adhere better to, it's loosening it up enough so that it doesn't come apart on you. Okay, so I'm going to grab my handy dandy little corner tool here, and I got a new rotary blade. So just make sure I go all the way around with this. This is not like the Dollar Tree one. Honestly, I think I got this at, oddly enough, at Lidl. They sometimes sell sewing things, and they're actually pretty decent quality. So, especially for what I'm doing with it here, it's kind of perfect for my paper. And I like that it's got a much better guard than the Dollar Tree one, which was going to hurt me. Okay, let me grab, I think I'm going to use tape right now. Okay. I always do my long sides first. For whatever reason, I mean, it just gives it, I feel like it gives a better finish if I do my long sides first, as far as completing them, putting them down. Now, these pieces are also going to be covered on the inside, so let's see it this way. Ooh, do not adhere there. Let's see if I can get this. Okay, let me get that down. Burnish is really the name of the game, isn't it? Sorry. Something fell. So, get this one on. Now, I do have tape coming out of the sides, and that's fine for these long sides, because this is going to go down over the top and it'll help, you know, with that tape. I'll be more careful on the other two sides to not have a bunch of tape showing through that could be problematic. Okay. And yeah. So I'm going to do it this way. I'm actually going to cut that off because I'm going to do this side here. And it's perfectly fine if it's off like that. And I'm going to do this one up here. I do find, I don't know why I didn't do this to begin with. It is kind of easier to put it on your hand like this, to me. Again, there's Big Brit is home. He just ran over to the grocery store to pick up some stuff for dinner. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the bottom of this one instead of adding any more tape, mostly because I don't want to have the tape come over the top. So we got that one. Just about took my hand off with that one. That one. I'm going to put tape here. Just a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and just push that corner in just slightly so that it doesn't come out on me. And perfect. And again. And squish in your corners. And there you go. All right, I'm going to do the other one and then I'll come back and we'll put it all together. Okay, so all of my pieces are done. Turn that around like that. And my next step is I need to attach my wonderful hinge, and it's going to go in like that. That's how they all lay flat. So what I'm going to do is make sure that I have the ones that I want to do. And I can't see this. I'm going to zoom you in just a little bit. Hopefully you can see kind of better what I'm doing. I'll start from the top. And what I am doing, I'm going to do a layer of glue, but I don't want to do it all the way into that kind of corner where I burnished it down. I don't want to put glue there. Some glue will spread. Ouch, I just stabbed myself. Okay. So come on. I'm going to leave it just, I have a tiny bit of wiggle room here. There we go. Make sure I got it lined up right. I'm going to turn this back over and burnish. Just going to burnish that down. Perfect. So I'm going to do the same thing, leaving just about that amount now. A little bit of glue made it through. There we go. And if you had, like I had a little bit of adhesive go over right here, so I'm making sure that's going to be on the inside. So let me pull you back out again so you can see better the whole thing. And ooh, I almost did it straight, guys. Let me go up that side and then try to get the whole thing. I love scribbling. I love the sound of that glue on there. I don't know why. Because I'm weird. Okay, so let me get it about where the other one is. Right about there. It's actually a little far out. Let me move it just a wee bit in. And burnish. And beautiful. That's what I want. Because I gotta cap my glue. So now I have this lovely book that is able to do what I want it to do. It's, in particular, it lays flat. That's the biggie. Stick it stick it this way. Yeah. That is the biggie. Make sure that it's going to lay flat. Now, for my next trick, I am going to, did I make this too big? No, that's about right. I'm going to cover, I did make it too big. I need to make it slightly smaller, like this way. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually cover the inside with the one sheet just to give me a blank slate. And I feel like I need to trim this a little bit. So this one was 12. This is 12 by 8 inches, and the 8 inches is fine. You could even go up to 8¼ inch, but the 12 inches is proving to be just a little bit too. I can't believe I just did that by accident. Let's even that up again. I went a little bit further than I wanted to. Oh, it's fine. It is just fine. So once I attach this, we're going to, okay. All right, so sorry about that. I thought I was recording when I was finishing putting this piece on, but apparently I wasn't. So let me just walk you through it. So what I do when I put this full piece on, and you don't necessarily have to do it this way, but when I cover the inside, the outside and the inside, I measure it up, and then I glue down or attach this piece. I attach the spine first. And once the spine is on, I'm taking, and this is actually a, oh my word, my brain, for icing. This is something you use for icing. But I was using this just because my other one seems to have disappeared on me. So all I do once it's down is I go ahead and I very gently score through these sides. And then once I do that, I'm going to go ahead and move the book up so that then I can attach these sides. Just, it's a peace of mind for me to make sure that I have these on correctly. So yeah, that's how I do it. So let's get to the fun part. Next step is going to be, I'm going to go ahead and do my belly band and attach, here we go. I'm going to move this guy out of the way for a minute and work on this one. And I think I have pre-cut just about everything, but I don't think I pre-cut this piece. So let me show you. I'm just going to be all over the place right now for a second. So this is my folding piece. I'm going to put that in. Actually, I should probably do that one next. These are my inside pieces. I don't know why I was jumping to belly band. There's lots of other stuff I need to do. That'll go there. These are going to go here. And then I'll have my folder on the outside and then my belly band. So let me put this piece on next. This is, I got a piece of something here. It's like there we go. Picked it up. This is my flap that goes here. I know, you guys are probably looking at me going, Sharon, you're just all over the place with this. Kinda. I shouldn't be, but kind of. Okay, so I just have to look at something really quick. Am I giving myself enough room? I am not. No, that's right. All right. Crazy. Okay, so this piece is, we'll find that for a minute. My wing, I don't know what to call this one, door. This one is 5.5 by 8.25. I'm going to score it at 1/2 inch on this 5-inch, on this side, 5.5 inch side. So I'm scoring it. If it'll sit still. I don't know why it's moving. Right there. Easy peasy. So I'm just going to go ahead, make sure I have that down properly. And then I do, that is not the way to do it. I'm going to go ahead and just round those corners just because I like it that way. And attach this. I do make this slightly smaller than my cover. Really, that's a lot of glue. My glue's coming out weirdly. I think my tip is kind of overly clawed, and so when it does come out, it's not doing the controlled one that I want, but it's okay. So yeah, I do make this slightly bigger, slightly smaller than my overall board. And honestly, I do that just because I don't want it to interfere with the action of the board. This is the best way to put it. Okay. So now those are down. This is me trying to get the pen back in my glue bottle for a minute. My word. Got it. Okay. That part is done. I'm going to go ahead and do these pieces. This feels like it's, let me just make sure that these are going to match up. I am not doing anything to this side. It's going to be covered. It's going to be covered, so I'm not going to worry about it. There. Practically perfect. It's my Mary Poppins board. Right, because once I put my, oh my word, I'm dropping things. Once I put this here, you're just not going to be able to see enough of anything over there for me to cover it. So I just don't. I don't waste paper. Okay, so let me put this one on next. This one, I believe this is 8.25 by 7/8 of an inch. Now I would just suggest, because everything, when we do stuff like this, it's all kind of its own size. So I need to make sure that that is inside those score marks. And then I'll put this one on. Now there's going to be a pocket here, so the truth is I could make this smaller if I didn't have the paper for it, or I wanted to, or if I was being smart and I wanted to conserve paper. then you wouldn't have to use a full sheet. Seriously, you could look at this and just go, oh, lots of options, but I am going to, perfect. Just use the whole full sheet. Gives me about a 1/16 of an inch, top and bottom. And this is still folding perfectly. Let me make sure everything's folding here. Oh, that was weird right there. All right. Let me see what I'm doing here. Okay, so let me tell you, because I turned the camera off for a minute. I paused it so I could see what was going on. And, you know, second time today, I just forgot to turn it back on again. But it's all good. It's all good. So, just one of those days. So this, I had just glued this down, as you can see. And it was getting caught up in this corner. And I don't know what teeny tiny little thing that I had done. But I believe, because I've now looked at this and tested it, that we should be just fine. That this is not going to end up, I guess this way. I got to make sure that I know what side it's going to be on. This way. So this one's going to go this way. Yeah, it can't get caught up right there where it folds up, and for some reason this needed to be slightly angled. Who knows? But I did not want to use glue on it a second time, so now I have changed it over to my score tape, and this is going to be fun because I've got to get it right the first time. So there's a little tiny spot here that's going to need a tiny bit of glue. Everything else is going to be perfect. I'm just going to keep telling myself that. It's going to be perfect. I'm going to move that forward a little bit because I do not... here, so you can see more. You can see the whole messy table. I don't want to leave a corner unglued or without any adhesive. Come on. This one's super fun. It's sticky. So sticky. All right, let me make sure I know. All right, so this came over a little bit. What you do with that is you just push it down. Make sure that none of that's going to be coming over the top. Now, once you have it adhered, you can always use a little bit of baby powder. I need to kind of get this underneath me to put it on here correctly. So, let me... right about there. I can't mess up either. Oh, that should be. Woohoo! Perfect. Crisis averted. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. And no one will ever know that there was a terrible, terrible crisis. Okay. So next is going to be this guy. And I am actually going to trim this guy down just a wee bit because I can see where it might interfere. So we're going to take a smidge off of him. I just want to make sure that we don't... Oh, perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Everything's closing the way it should. this stuff. All right, bring in a little bit. So, this is going to be one of my pockets. I'm glad I don't need to use adhesive that I messed this one up, because really want to use glue here. All right, so there we go. Whatever, a little bit there. Oh, what am I doing? I had glue in my fingers. That's not a great thing. All right. That's my first piece. Let's see if I need to trim this guy down a little bit. No, he'll actually be fine the way he is. Cute. All right, now this one gets the full-on treatment. Now, you also could just glue down the 3 sides of this one and make it into yet another pocket, with kind of a pocket within a pocket. But that is perfect. Here we go. Next, so for those, I'm not sure if I did these. Yeah. So this was 7/8 by 8 3/8. And then this piece was 5 3/8 by 8 3/8. And you may have to tweak it. I mean, I'm going to hold with those numbers because it's where it should have been. I think it's probably because I didn't go all the way to my edge here and I did not accommodate that. Here. I'll show you what I mean. When you get right in there, see how I didn't go all the way to the edge? I just didn't include that in my numbers. Okay, so next, I'm going to go ahead and make my little inner pocket. And at this point, which way yeah, I want it to go that way. I like that one. So I'm just going to go ahead. I've already cut this one down. This piece is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 5 7/8 by, it should be 8 1/8. That's what it's looking like. Let me double check that. Yeah. 5 7/8. So I'm going to go ahead, put my pocket right there. Oh, I see. I'm going to trim this just a wee bit. I'm having fun with my pockets today. Let me turn that just slightly so you can... That's better. Yep. I thought the brighter side would look nice. Let me get a whole lot of adhesive on here. I tell you. Now, perfect. I have a little bit of a weird, I don't know if you all can see this, but it tapers down a little bit, and that's going to be fine because I have a pocket that's going to go on here, right here. So that pocket is going to cover up any real issues that I might be having. I just need to, let me close this guy up for a minute and find my circle punch. Because it's such a big pocket, I'm going to use 1.5 inches. You can see there's already a piece in there. Don't need that. Okay, so I am going to center this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I want my punch to be right about there. Good enough. I am not going to back this one up. I thought about it, but again, I really wanted this to be quick and easy. You know, as quick and easy as I do things. Little booklet here. So, just gonna blue? We're gonna blue. Or glue. Oh, that's fun. Did you see my... I really haven't been drinking tonight. My skew. All right, there we go. I got glue on the inside here. So I want to be a little bit careful with that one. Perfect. Go ahead. So now we've got our book that opens up. My next order of business, I'm going to go ahead and prep my my notebook here. So should I use that paper or that one? I think for continuity on this side, I'm going to use this one. Let me find a little piece. Okay, so I found a little piece. This one, because I find that sometimes these are slightly off. I never pre-measure this. I just do it when I'm doing it. I'm going to use the pretty Santa-y paper. But first, I am going to take off this little edge. But I'm keeping it because it has my Santa Claus lane that I'm going to use at the top. And I am going to do that again with this one. So I've got my piece. This was kind of perfect. I'm going to measure it over so that I get the right amount here. Now, normally I'll cut this down to maybe 2.5 inches, 2.5 inches, just to wrap it properly. But I don't see any point in trying to cut something that's already only 3.5 inches down like that. So I'm just gonna get this. I'm gonna trim that little bit off, and hopefully that's the right amount. Let's see how we did. Oh, that is so cute. Okay. I am going to go ahead. This is really nice, by the way. This is perforated paper. I mean, it's really nice stuff. I'm pretty happy that I found it at Ollie's. So I'm going to get that out of the way for a minute. You can tape this. You can do whatever you want. I am going to tape it only because it's just easier. It's just easier. So I am going to adhere my tape. If I can get it right. Right there. I'll put a touch of glue where it's not reaching. Oh, turn that upside down. Let's turn that upside down. That'll make it easier. Yep. I'm going to go ahead and do that part. And I'm going to move it over to the top. Probably should have used my slightly... Doesn't really matter. I was thinking maybe I should have used my tape that's a little bit bigger, but I don't think it matters. I'll do the back. So... This is the knuckle, white knuckle part for me. Getting it on right. Because once it attaches with this tape, I mean, that's it. That's all she wrote. You're not moving that around. Unless you're ripping it off, like ripping it completely up like I did with the other one. Okay, I actually got it on right. So with this one, I'm not going to waste a whole lot of tape on here. I like to put it through my hand, but it's not always possible. So I'm just going to... This back part just does not need to be perfect. Which is a good darn thing considering, you know, it's me. So, okay, from there to about there. So this is intended. Someone could certainly switch this out if they so choose. Let's see. All right, if I do this in under an hour, it'll be a miracle. It should be under an hour. You would think. All right, that actually worked out well. And you know, that's upside down, but it doesn't matter because you don't see it. You have this great little one. So I'm going to trim this and I'll come back to this one because I think what I'm going to do is back it up just ever so slightly to make this one pop a little bit more against that background. But the next thing that I need to do, I'm going to grab, I'm just going to grab a piece of, that's perfect. You can use an inch, you can use had something as big as you want. Honestly, I just grabbed a strip of extra from my pile. So I'm going to push it up so it holds. I'm not going to make this, you know, I don't want it to be terrible. I don't know what I'm not worried about this piece. It just has to be on here and make some sense. I'm also not going to try to make it like tight in, because I want to be able to pull this off if I want to pull it off. So I just bend it over. It is super duper easy. Yep, super duper easy. I never met a project I didn't want to make more difficult. All right, so I'm just making sure that I adhere this down. I'm going to get this pretty centered. Really, that's all I do. It's down. And it's in. And I do make these so that people can switch out the paper if they so choose. But it's not really intended to be more than a one and done type thing. You know, it's paper. I got a paper cut today. Couldn't find a Band-Aid. Okay, so now we get into another fun part, which is attaching the envelope to the outside. So I picked up these 8 envelopes. These are Jot, so this is Dollar Tree. So it was 8 for $1.25. Something that I learned with the last one is when you're getting ready to do this. So far what I've noticed is that all of these are off. You cannot use the clasp on both sides because they've all been offset improperly. This one's actually better than the last one, but it's still not perfect. But it'll do. I'm not going to worry about it. That is better than the last one. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this down a little bit. And I am going to go ahead. I'm just eyeballing this. So I just want it to be a little bit off on both sides. I'm going to do a little bit there and a little bit there. I'm not going to get it as close to the edge as some other things, only because I don't want it to interfere with the movement of the book. All right, so here's how I do the envelope. The envelope, please. I got to do my big one. Forgot I have to do my big one. So I am just going to line up my little marks. And I am cutting this off. If you want to, I am not actually going to keep that. I fully respect anyone who can find a use for that. But I'm just not going to worry about it. Okay. So both of those pieces are done. My envelope is open. So my next step, I am actually going to undo this. I'm going to open my envelope up because I don't want to go beyond, let me flatten that back out again. I don't want to go beyond this top part. And I'm not going to make any major changes to it. So I'm going to go ahead, do that side. It's amazing how much better I am, how much straighter I am when I can like balance my hand. Can lean it against something and do that side. And over it goes. So far, so good. Easy peasy. Envelope squeezy. Now, you could cut this down. In the last one that I did, I'm going to show you. When I did this one, I folded this over instead of cutting it down. And I'm wondering now if I shouldn't have just made a little bit of editing, but I actually kind of like the look. I don't know. Do y'all like that look? I do. So I'm going to keep it folded over. I don't know why I like the look. I just do. Oh, I forgot to do this part. So at the top of my envelope, to give it that envelope feel, I'm going to go ahead and do my corners. Get that in there properly. And then that side, this is so thin. Now I'm going to put it back down. So I have this cute little envelope in here. And again, I like it like this. So I'm going to fold this up just once. I'm only folding it up once. I think it's kind of cute. Move that for just a second. But absolutely burnish this one. Burnish, burnish, burnish. And then I am going to glue this part down. I don't want this one to move. Now, I suppose if you wanted to, you could, I mean, there's several things you could do here. The way I'm doing it is certainly not the be-all, end-all. You could simply fold it up and burnish it, but not glue it down so you had extra space. You could cut off the bottom and create a situation where you're just folding it up, and then you can completely cover the top part. And I could still do that with my paper. I can still take a sheet and mostly cover this whole thing. And for this one, I don't know if I'm going to do that. I don't think I'm going to do that with this one. I like that other look. Y'all tell me what you think. I'm always, always interested in what you guys think. Okay, so this little cutie pie is about ready to be glued down. And then I just have to decide. I'm going to go ahead before I do that, and I'm going to, what did I do with that paper? What I think I'm going to use on this one is, if I have enough of it. Oh, that's not enough. I was thinking about using that, and I thought I had more of it, but I'm not seeing enough of it. So I'm going to have to think again. So I could do this. I could do this one. And you could do it like right under. This one has those yellows in it. That actually kind of works. And then what happens when you open this? You have that. All right, I think I'm going to go with it. And this time I'm going to go all the way down and cover my folded over section. I do like it folded over, but I'm kind of liking this. Get that to make sense. So just deciding. Nope. I'm gonna do it the same way I did the other one. Okay, so I have that. I'll show you guys why in just a minute, why I chose to do it this way. I think that it's just going to look better top to bottom. So I'm going to have a little bit of the envelope at the top and a little bit of the envelope at the bottom, if that makes sense. All right, hopefully that's even. So what I have here, when I put this on, is this one's off. Let's look at that again. It was off by a sliver. Let's see now. Yes. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and attach this to this. I like it. I had the pen in my mouth. Y'all know I do that sometimes. All right. Now I'll have to come back to this, see if I want to put a tag on the top of it. But for right now, you're going to have this cute little envelope. Oh my goodness. I just looked up and for a minute I thought I wasn't recording again. Oh no. I had an oh no moment. And I should just put it on the, when I put it on the table and put the glue on, I was just as straight as an arrow. And I'm holding it and I'm like all over the place. Okay. Let's get it right where we want it to be. It's actually really good. So what I'm liking better about this one and the other one, these are opposite. This is here and that one's on the inside. But with this one, like I was saying, it's got all that extra kind of room to grow right there. So if it gets plumper, it gets things inside it, it's not going to bother it at all. Finally, my favorite part, I am going to go ahead and do my covers and then we'll be about done. But right now, this is where we are. I'm loving it. All right, so let me pull the paper for my covers. Okay, once again, I'm not putting a closure on this. I'm here at this point. I'm not forgetting. I'm really just not going to put a closure on it. I don't like the idea of the closure for these because I think when you open it up, the closure will get in the way. So I'm just saying. So I think this is going to be adorable. I have the green metallic, and I'm going to put the lights on here so you can see this better. So the green metallic, and then I'll put the lights on top of that, and then I have cut apart that I'm going to use as sort of the front of it. Now, to make this work, I'm going to do this. Because I am just more comfortable doing this right now. I feel like that was just ever so slightly off. It's weird. Okay. Oh, you all can't see what I'm looking at. Here, we'll do this. So we're going to do right there. And right there. Okay. I have this out of the way. This. And this is one cool thing about, I have to put my hand under there. I'm moving that to where this piece says I should cut. So that with my next piece, I can just cut. I love it. And then with this piece, that needs to be, it's going to be right about there. Don't push the paper. I got that one. So that these two are going to be exactly the same, because the front and back should be exactly the same. And I should have done, let me reset this. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'll do that one later. I was thinking about cutting that down, but it's not going to work the way I think it's going to. So I have a piece here. And I have a piece here. Oh, there we go. I've got to watch my edges because this edge is different. Okay. Good to go. Yeah, this time I don't have the pen in my mouth. But I am making a mess with glue again. I'm going to try to keep the glue off of my shiny stuff. All right. There. Perfect. So cute. I'll do this. See, took it right off. Okay, next sheet. Really, it's like a drunken sailor. But if I put my hand, if I put this down and I use my hand balanced on the table, I'm fine. It's kind of hilarious. Glue, why must you jump out of my hand? Okay. So. Go. Okay, so far, so good. Let me stick a pin in it while I measure this, which should be 7/8. There is a big gap here, guys. I don't know. These two are measured exactly alike, which it looks beautiful. It does not need to be anything other than it is. And I need to, one of my biggest issues is continuing to think that perfection, it shouldn't look like a machine did it. That's, not really what I think any of us are going. That's why we do handmade, so that it is beautiful and handmade. And the truth is, with handmade, you're going to have imperfections, slight imperfections. What's interesting is that in machine made, when you look at things like stamps, if it's an imperfection, it makes it worth buku more money. I think that I should charge double when I have some slight imperfections. I think we all should. All right, let's see. Oh, yes. Yes, that is practically perfect in every way. I'm going to use this one to measure. Right up there. To measure that. Now I think I might do the same thing. We'll see. I really like the other one where all I did was the metallic paper instead of making it fancy and adding anything to it. So with this one, once I put this down, look how cute that is with just the metallic. You could probably do this with just the metallic and people would still like it. But I gotta be fancy. Okay. Get this one lined up with those. Nice. Perfect. Okay, next. Nope, it's not going to be under an hour. Be lucky if it's under 2 hours. I tried, but I did. No, I'm going to need that for the next part. Okay, so now I need to measure, and I'm going to lose these cut aparts. I'm okay with that. I am okay with that, and I do want to cut off the bottom section. Again, because I do think that it's just really going to get in the way. Okay. So I'm going to give this a bigger, because it's clear that I didn't have quite enough of this paper. I'm just going to give it a bigger border. And I kind of like the bigger border with this. I think it's kind of pretty. So let me do that about right there. That's all I need to do. I don't really ever like losing my cut aparts, but needs must. All right, pretty good. Let me look at that one more time. I'm going to come in just a wee bit. Because I had it at two places. I have to be careful that I don't cut too much. Perfect. So cute. Okay. So I'm going to do the same thing with this side. Got it lined up. That's all I have left of that little piece of paper. So let's see. Yep. Perfect. Okay, so the one thing I'm going to do, although it'll work fine if you use glue, I'm going to use tape on this one. Just because I think for me the tape, I like the tape better on the metallic. I know. Weird, but true. So let me see if I can get this kind of exact. While I'm doing this, if you've stayed with me and you haven't subscribed, I'd love to have you join the community. It's really a lovely group because you guys are always so kind. It is, and caring. It's just wonderful. And we have a Facebook channel, Little Brit & Co. on Facebook, if you want to join that one. And really that one is so that you guys can show me what you've done, because I just thought that would be really cool if I could see what you guys are doing. All right, I'm ready to going in, Coach. And I'm going to put a little bit of glue in between. I don't want the glue to be the only thing holding it in, but I also don't want anything to pop up. So once you've got the other adhesive down, I think that we're good with the glue. Just kind of making sure everything is nice and even. And I'm going to go, I do want, yep, I want these to go down because, you know, no. Yes. All right, that's okay. I got a bigger border at the top than I really intended, but it looks good. And again, one of my favorite people to watch is Crafty Crafts with Dina. And she is so wonderful about just continually reminding us it's fine for it not to be perfect. It is perfectly fine. And I need that. All right, I'm going to go ahead and finish up put the other one on, and then I'll come back and show you how we're going to finish it. Okay, so the book is ready. Ready for its final touches. So this is the cut apart page. I am going to cut off this Joy to the World. I'm going to back it up with the green metallic and put that on there. I keep meaning to buy some stickles so I can shine stuff up a little bit. Just haven't done it yet. But I really need to. All right. I do not love this for my Christmas paper. Not really. I don't know. Maybe it'll grow on me, but for right now, I'm not loving it for my Christmas paper. Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and finish these off right here. One. And I really thought I was going to use this one. I was going to use one of my round die cuts and cut it out, and it was going to be great. And then I looked at it and decided, nope, I'll do it that way. Okay, here comes the fun part. And actually, I'm going to help myself out a wee bit. I am going to use my handy dandy cutter to get this close enough on these sides. Yes. Pretty good. Okay, move these pieces out of the way. That actually really helped a lot. So now all I need to do with this one is just a little bit of this. Isn't it funny how we think we're going to do something one way, and suddenly we're like, oh, no, I don't do that. I don't do this one. So, how cute that is. But it needs to pop. And I think having that in the background is going to be perfect. And I just need to cut it out. And for this one, I'm going to give it a little extra space. Let me start by putting a little adhesive on it so it will attach properly. So I'm going to go from there to... I might have to cut that part off. That's good. You know what's funny? I was about to say, I'm just talking to myself right now, guys. Which is kind of hilarious. Because when you do YouTube, you're really kind of always talking to yourself and praying that somebody is out there with you. Hanging out with you. It's kind of funny. All right. I am going to get one of my skinnier tapes. Make sure that one didn't go over. One of my skinnier tapes to put right there. These come in every size. That's going to be perfect right there. Find the end of it. Somewhere. Okay, now I really just want to make sure that everything is nice and adhered and not moving. So it's called tearaway tape, but that thicker stuff, I cannot tear it away. This stuff, I can. Here we go. Oh, what the heck? You know, that's funny. I say that and it actually got caught on my finger and I had actually, it was not adhering. That's kind of funny. It had torn away all right. Right out of my finger. I put that back there. I have a cart of that I keep my tools and my adhesives and everything. I actually don't lose it. I don't lose them, which is always exciting. Yep, that's going to be perfect. Okay. Now, even though I think the tape holds it, I prefer the tape on the metallics. I will use a little bit of glue in a couple of places where I just want to make sure everything adheres properly. It's like right there, right along there. Right there. And I want to give this, can trim it down. Glue, glue. Okay, now I'm going to grab my trimmer. I'm going to get this down to approximately the size that I want it to be. So I just kind of measure it how I'm looking through there. So it's about halfway through that. So that should be about there. Too big. Still too big. How's that too big? Let me look at that again. It's almost there. Better. Nerve-wracking. Okay. And then that goes into my specialty pile. Almost there. So again, you could always add something to this. I'm just not going to. Because I don't want it to be something that sticks out and makes it difficult to fold the book flat. So if I was really close to adding ribbons to the other one. Not ribbons, the flowers. And then realized what it would do. How it would change the whole point of the book. That needs to come over. Come on. Perfect. Practically perfect. And that is going to be the, oh my, it's going to be the front of the book. Okay, final walkthrough. I finished a couple of little things so I could show it to you all at once. So here is our beautiful legal pad for the holidays. It really just, I continued with just the simple metallic green on there. We've got our joy to the world. When it opens up, you have your envelope for receipts or whatever you so choose. Open it up further and you have a pocket. I've made a couple of little tags or bookmarks, whatever you want them to be. And then I did a bitty tag and just a little journaling piece on our wonderful inside. And I went ahead and included the Santa Claus Lane to the top. I love this one. I might even call it the Santa Claus Lane series. So I went ahead and put that up on top of there. And that is it, with the minor exception that with this piece being what it is, and as sturdy as it is, and as big as it is, you can slide a pin right there. And that's the intention. You're able to put a pin onto the edge of this, and you don't need the loops, just like we talked about at the beginning. That's it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I really do. And let me know if you make one, or better even if you want to include a picture on the Facebook page. That'd be cool. All right, guys. Thanks so much. I will see you all later. Bye. Cheers.